I hope in the next hour and a half you walk away with more insights that help you. We're going to really get deep inside of people's heads through the eyes of research, the lens of research, and show you what makes them tick, why they are who they are. And we're going to talk a lot about boomers, but to understand boomers, you've got to understand all the generations. So we're going to take you through Generation Y and Generation X, and we're even going to go to the silent generation. So you're going to walk out of here as sort of a generational expert. That's my goal. But I also want you guys to stop and ask questions. Let's make this a dialogue and not a monologue. There's a ton of material here. You don't have to take copious notes. I'm going to send the slides, or an abbreviated version of them. You have the book, and I'll leave you with my phone number and email, so you guys can ask questions after this.
What information he provided on the boomers and the growth of the boomers and just the whole market that's available was very valuable information for this industry.
We are a boomer research company. We've been around for 43 years, and we worked for a lot of people and had the pleasure of working for AARP. We've done 50 studies for them, and a lot of other national brands you recognize. And it's funny, they all started asking about 5 or 6 years ago about boomers and wondering a little bit more about them. And we started noticing in our research that there was some differences between generations. That up until 5 years ago, we were asking age breaks in surveys. We weren't asking what year you were born and then resorting the data by generation. But when we started doing that, we said, wow, look at this. And we got deeper and deeper, and we're going to share some of those early insights with you today. And the reason boomers are so hot is because 1 out of 3 Americans are baby boomers. 1 out of 3. It's just phenomenal. And we started doing research studies, and we do 7,000 interviews a month with a company called Big Research, a partner company of ours, and we take the data and pour through it and find insights and share it with all of these folks. And we've been hired by these guys. I was just with Johnson & Johnson yesterday, helping them plan for the 50-plus market. So it's just amazing how everybody's woken up, and you probably have seen advertising in the last couple of years get a little better in terms of targeting this demo.
All right, check. 3 aces. Nice. That's nice, sir. Full house.
What's going on? Get back to bed.
Feel young again. Centrum Silver.
We're oftentimes quoted in the media, and we've got a lot of shameless publicity on the Boomer Project and their findings. What we're going to do today, I'm going to start off with about 15 minutes of a background on Generations 101, so you really get the context of Gen Y and Gen X, and I'm going to find some Gen Xers and Gen Ys here to have a little fun with them. So I've already identified one over here. Vanessa's going to help me. We're then going to get into new rules of marketing for each one of these generations in terms of your members and your prospects. And I'm going to share with you just some general insights on how to think about them when you're crafting a marketing campaign. And again, I want this to be a dialogue. So if it hits a funny bone or I say something that you guys want to challenge, please raise your hand and let's get into it. If you look at 80 million of these guys, Gen Yers, and baby boomers kind of redefine the size of a population. America has grown in size over the years, and so the generations naturally should get bigger. But Gen X didn't do that. Are they hardworking? Exceptionally bright? The silent generation, the older folks, it's really sort of, you think about ready, fire, aim. They're like ready, aim, fire. And then baby boomers, think about baby boomers, they're ready, aim, fire. And then you get to Gen Xers. Gen Xers are ready, fire, aim. And then you get to Gen Y, and it's fire, 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 aim. And everything's about play. The whole way you learn is about fantasy, and we're all part of it as parents. Little Johnny wants to go up to be an astronaut. That's great, you can do that. And we get him the astronaut clothes. Or they want to grow up and be the president of a credit union. You can do that. We can make that happen. So you go through these different seasons as you get older. And this is not a Boomer Project idea. This is an old Irish proverb we found. 20 years a child, 20 years running wild, 20 years a mature man, and after that praying. Right? Boomers are at the beginning of the autumn of their life. Boomers are about 42 and a half to 63, if you do the math on 1946 to 1964. So here are boomers at the beginning of the autumn of their life. They had a 10-year gap, and then the older you get, the gap gets larger. Also, the more money you make influences the gap as well. She was asked, golly, you're approaching 50. You know, you don't look like you did when you were 24. And she said to the reporter, I disagree. I still have those hips. They're just trapped inside of these. Well, we asked boomers. 48 was when middle age begins, and most of the time I don't have astute Gen Y and Xers in the room, and they say like 30. So 60, you hear about 60 being the new 30 or 50 being the new 20, whatever. 60 is the new 60. Beverly Hillbillies, remember Granny? She was 60 years old. That's what 60 looked like when we were watching television as kids. Goldie Hawn, 60 years old, grandmother. 60 is the new 60. We are pushing out middle age, and you can even make it fun like the TLC folks did. Hank traveled so much he had his couch made into a jacket. So you could have fun with it, but you got to do it. You got to get the story out there, and you got to get the tools out there so it can happen. So you got to go back to the future and reinvent yourselves the way you always have, and continue to help everybody the way you always have.
Just very thrilled to be in the room with the audience and have the privilege to listen to all the key data that he had to share about the different generations and be able to give us information that we could actually apply to our media campaigns, our marketing campaigns.
Always looking for good people to present to our customers and marketing departments, and we would love to sign them up to come to San Diego next year.